Hello, YouTube and my TPC. Fatboy here, coming to you from the Urban Bunker. And this is going to be a non-pipe related video. Yes, I am enjoying a pipe and in it tobacco, of course, but this is going to be something of a ramble. I was thinking about this last night and today, and I think that those in the prepping and survivalist groups or category are looked at rather differently. And actually today I found a video that is about 5 years old. That's when it was put on YouTube 5 years ago. And it kind of explains more of the category, breaks it down to what it is and why it is. Okay, I'll put this down for the moment. So, as a survivalist or prepper, we are occasionally looked at as not being mentally sound. And it isn't really seen as something that is normal. Well, people have car insurance because there is a possibility that they may get hit by someone, or they may hit something that damages their car. Well, in that same respect, they are a prepper. They're preparing for an accident that they may not get into. And the same with health insurance, and even on a smaller scale, buying an umbrella and carrying that every day. It may not rain, and if it does rain, you have something to protect you. I think the normal population that aren't involved are not realizing what they do normally as prepping, because it is accepted. And this video I watched goes through like the target group it focuses on is the UK, because it is a BBC related feed or newscast or whatever it's considered. Normally the BBC handles outside of the US. So this particular person goes through talking with apparently the only survival store in the UK and looks at the various items that this person sells and questions why it may be needed. Things like a machete or a crossbow. And I think on a basic level, people associate those types of things with The Walking Dead. And somehow through The Walking Dead, albeit a interesting look at survival, they tend to think that all preppers are getting ready for the zombie apocalypse. That phrase in itself, we can actually break down. Well, a zombie, it was created through some type of medical epidemic or pandemic, and they're basically dead coming back to life. Well, what I see is go through your normal day and look at those around you. You'll see somebody immersed in their cell phone, texting, going to Facebook or Instagram, taking pictures of their food. People that barely or rarely look up and look around. Their phone, or in some cases, their laptop or tablet, holds a majority of their focus. They walk around and are void of any type of interaction with people. That essentially is a zombie. So, yes, we are somewhat looking at a zombie apocalypse. Because if an EMP, electromagnetic pulse, goes off and affects all of the electronics or the power systems, these people would be lost. They would be frantically trying to use their phone or their tablet, their basic device, whatever that might be, and they would be lost. Now, this video on BBC, it mentions how the whole bug out scenario would be desirable for someone that prepares for it. How you would be able to have less groups around you, and essentially having less groups be able to avoid conflict. Because when people don't have their daily routine, or people don't have their comfort, they react frantically. And this can be seen with situations that took place in Hurricane Katrina, California, basically riots that were created by frantic people. When there's an issue that disrupts the influx of food or influx of power, people will become desperate. They will look for it and fight for it any way they can. And if they find someone that has what they think they need, they will do whatever they can to get it. This video I shared to my Prepper Survivalist playlist. And if you are curious or you need to figure out what exactly this is, you can go there and take a look. I think it's a 14-minute video. So that is an option. But for the most part, personally, I do try to be aware of my surroundings, and I do try to prepare myself for whatever might happen. And there's various levels of preparedness. Some people think that having firearms in multiple numbers is a way of being prepared. And I don't look down on firearms. I don't look down on the idea of owning a firearm. But for my situation, I'm not able to own one and live where I live. So I need to evaluate what I can, what my current situation is, and apply whatever it is I can use as a defense. And some people think, well, I can't afford whatever the amount is for whatever item it is. Well, there is a possibility that you can't afford it, but can you find something that you can afford that can be used in a similar situation? For example, you can afford to buy a firearm. So you look and you see that you can afford a pellet gun. Now, this item won't, it's not a lethal option, so you wouldn't be able to put the person or thing that you're aiming at down permanently. But if it is someone who is trying to take what you want, it is something that would slow them down so you can perhaps get away. And the pellet guns, or there's different kinds. There's some that are multi-pump. There's some that take CO2 cartridges. So then you have the ability to fire that item a little faster. So if you have a pack of small, well, not small, but a small pack of animals like dogs or a coyote or something like that, you'd be able to have more shots to deter more than just one. And I have been looking at the options, as I believe I've mentioned in previous videos. I do have a slingshot. I haven't been able to regularly practice with that item. But one thing I noticed was, I think the brand name is PowerShot or Pocket Shot. It's basically a type of slingshot that can be used, modified slightly for arrows, and you would have it in your pocket. There is videos that show how to create a homemade version of that. So you're not paying the $40 or $50 to get that item. And what I did was followed those DIY videos and created a form or a simplistic version of that. You have a regular balloon that you would get for parties and things like that. You have the top of a wide mouth bottle like Gatorade or Powerade, something like that. And after cutting the bottle portion off, you can attach the balloon, and as you see, it stretches. So it would be a simpler version of that Pocket Shot. And that can be used. Of course, you need to practice with that and be able to hit what you're aiming at, but it is easier to walk around with something like that than it is a regular sized slingshot. But I believe that would be everything that I wanted to mention. I hope you all are well and your work week goes without too much chaos, and keep your eyes on the horizon and watch your six.